Hello and welcome to the new podcast about my upcoming book, Attempting Local. Attempting Local follows my journey as I explore Ireland, surf the waves of the North Atlantic, hike the country's rugged mountains, and travel throughout Europe, all while striving toward a master's degree. It's an extremely honest account of how tough it can be to leave everything behind and move abroad, though it simultaneously demonstrates the beauty of a life of solo travel. Episode number 10, Goodbye Journal 1. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening to this podcast, thank you for the wonderful messages and support, and thank you for sharing this story with others. When I moved abroad, I knew I wanted to share honest, helpful, and exciting information I'd learned from my adventure. It took years of writing, editing, and traveling to get to this point. On episode 10 of a podcast I never even knew I'd create. Again, without you, this would not be possible. So thank you. I look forward to sharing the rest of this beautiful and timely piece of work with all of you. But as this is the last chapter of part 1, Lost Inside, I'm going to take a little time off. The show will resume on July 24th. To be more accurate, I won't be taking time off, but I'll take some time to record more episodes and try and garner additional financial support for the show. The money I get from patrons helps a lot with paying for things like Google Ads and equipment, but sponsorships would go a long way. In the meantime, please head to Instagram or Facebook to follow @Attempting Local Podcast to keep updated on any relevant information. Anyway, thanks for the interruption, enjoy episode 10 of Attempting Local, and I'll see you back here in a month. Entry number 24, December 17th, 2018. 114 days since moving to Galway. Entry title, Nearly There. I'm starting to burn out, run out of steam. This I can sadly relate to a theoretical model for my digital marketing course. It's the absurdly long titled, Limited Capacity Model of Mediated Message Processing. Essentially, the idea is that once you're overstimulated to a certain extent, you can no longer effectively process or retain information. That's where I'm at, overstimulated. If it didn't come down to writing 3 essays from memory for each class, it would be easier. I can't simply read and reread notes. I must test myself page by page to ensure I know each theory and every model. I suppose this is the challenge I desired. I just wish the content felt a bit more relevant, more immediate. And I really hope the content sticks. Going into next semester with a hint of marketing background should make the entire endeavor more manageable. This semester had me starting at square one. This is how the next few days break down. Digital marketing exam tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. Research methods, arguably my toughest exam, Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Term paper due for measuring marketing performance and productivity on Friday before midnight. Then I have Saturday and Sunday to mess around, and the journey home begins on Monday. I should get home by 10 p.m. on Christmas Eve, barring any delays or disasters. And more immediately, I have a date tonight. I'm hoping it goes as well as the last. In other news, I finally got my NUI Galway Mountaineering Club fleece, and I couldn't be happier. Warm, waterproof, properly branded, what more could one ask for? I've also officially lost over 20 pounds, or 9 kilograms, since April of this same year. More than 10 pounds while in Ireland alone. I've never been in this shape. Well, not since high school wrestling 5 years ago. I'm running anywhere from 5 to 10 miles in a week and hitting the gym very consistently. I feel strong and my cardio feels great too. Overall, I'm just feeling really good. Lastly, Christmas shopping has been a treat. Getting local handmade goods from the Galway Market for my family is pretty special. This is one of the loveliest and most versatile street markets I've ever been to, one which I frequent almost every Saturday or Sunday. Tents, tables, and their vendors are scattered around St. Nicholas's Church, just outside the door of Sheridan's. A wine and cheese shop that deserves a mention in any account of Galway. There are hippies that dish out crepes. Irish folks handcraft their own goods, such as jewelry, clothing, art, soaps, wallets, or other random yet delightful trinkets. Fishmongers display fresh salmon. businessmen who've rebuked the corporate world toast bagels laden with excessively delectable toppings. But the most crucial piece of the Galway Market framework, without question, is Donut Dan and his 𝗿𝗀𝗐𝗏 donuts. You have to get in his ludicrously long line, but it's for the most delicious 80-cent piece of fried dough you'll ever eat. While deep frying the uncooked treats, Donut Dan will charm you with his old school outfit and dated hat and disarming smile. He'll probably even crack a few jokes and call you by a nickname. The only problem? You can't really take warm, soft donuts on a 3,000-mile journey. As you can tell, I'm steering clear of the tourist shops, attempting to purchase the most authentic items, even better if they come with a story. That's not tough to come by here, which I cherish. And while it'll be nice to see family and friends, the longer I'm in Ireland and the more Galway becomes home, the less I crave going back to my birthplace. Entry number 25, December 19th, 2018. 116 days since moving to Galway. Entry title, Honesty, Vulnerability, and Self-Loathing. I know the pain and sheer terror of falling in love. It's only happened, truly happened, once before for me. The story has never changed, and I still remember it vividly. I drunkenly stumbled through a small clearing of trees and into the massive shared backyard of my friend's apartment complex. It was like a long rectangle, walled by trees on 3 sides and sliding doors on the 4th. It was a decently crowded party, but as I emerged from the thin, man-made forest, I only saw her. We both appeared at the same time, she from the sliding glass door of my buddy's place. She looked radiant under the light of the back porch, glowing almost, with an angelic aura. I couldn't retreat my eyes and must have looked dumbfounded, having just been born from the branches of pine. I knew I had to speak to her, be with her in any capacity. I'd fallen, and I'd done so quite intensely. For a long time, she was what picked me up. Our mutual adoration, love, desire, caring. It was all real until it became too much so, and I abandoned it all in fear of the possible permanence. I stopped being the boyfriend I wanted to be and became something else entirely. Something undeserving. As I looked at the stars last night through my skylight windows, tears ran warmly down my face at these distant memories. And it's all happening again. I'm falling for the first time in 4 years. I want to say I don't know what it is about this girl, but I do. It's not simply her deeply passionate personality or endlessly impressive mind, but it's the irreplaceable feeling I get when I'm with her. An ease, a sense of calm and comfort, and the constant strain of trying to suppress my ridiculous smile. I can't get her out of my damn thoughts, and this wouldn't be an issue if it were all reciprocated. She clearly has feelings too, which she stated 2 nights ago, but she doesn't want to. She didn't come to Ireland to find me, and I didn't for her. We're trapped in a limbo of uncertainty, dismayed at life's attempts to unravel our simple plan of living a year abroad, no strings attached. The cruelty of it all becomes worse the more I understand the situation. We're both extremely independent, and she and I both broke off our past relationships because things seemed too quickly headed for marriage. Too serious, too quickly. We each feared it, and that's exactly what our interactions have been thus far. She spilled intimate knowledge to me on our first date, as I did, and each of us could see tears forming in the other's eyes. It was emotionally stunning and equally as petrifying. We opened ourselves hastily to the prospect of vulnerability. I find it strangely comforting, the unrelenting honesty I have with her, but I know that for her it's disconcerting. She desires the truth, then cringes under the weight of it. That's the terrible irony that won't stop repeating. We inevitably see each other again, and we both want openness and honesty, though I rarely hear it. And she doesn't seem comfortable with it when it's given. That once comforting relief of being honest abruptly turns to self-loathing for revealing too much. I want to stop talking to her simply for my own sanity. I just can't seem to give her up. She's a vice, a drug. I relapse at the sound of her voice, the sight of her smile. I pray that when things go wrong, she cuts me off purposefully and outspokenly rather than by leading me on. or simply disappearing. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, just wanted to say best of luck with your exams. I'll be saying a prayer for you throughout the day. Good luck and God bless. A man said these words to me briefly before stepping out of Coco Cafe in Salt Hill. He initially motioned to me when he walked in, and I nodded my hello, only half interpreting his movements. I was focused on the digital marketing notes on the table in front of me. Still, I could tell he wanted to say more. He returned after ordering his coffee to say the kind words, leaving with a wave and a genuinely comforting smile. The man was wearing a construction vest, glasses, and must have been in his mid to late 30s. And while I could assess him from his appearance, it was his kindness that couldn't be fully understood. It was totally unsolicited and wholly unselfish. I appreciated it beyond measure, and I felt confident both walking in and out of my exam. Entry number 26, December 20th, 2018. 117 days since moving to Galway. Entry title, Goodbye Journal 1. Ah, you and your technology. Tap, is it? Yeah, it's just easier than you having to make me sign. Such a pain in the arse, and it's not as if anybody actually checks the signature. Going home for Christmas? You are? Oh, that's great. Have a happy Christmas, and we'll see you next time. This was the short encounter I had with an older woman at the laundry center. I don't know why, but I just loved it. I don't get to interact with many Irish people, as absurd as that may sound, especially older folks. When I do, it encourages a smile. Bitching about our differing card systems reminds me of how simply we can connect with people who live 3,000 miles from our own birthplace. There are darker moments though, which sometimes come when I'm with 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗲. He's one of my great friends in the program from India. He's tall, handsome, and one of the funniest guys I've ever had the honor of laughing with. But he occasionally runs into issues when we go out. The first time I noticed this was on Christmas Day, a day that happens to be in November. Everyone dresses in funny Christmas jumpers and heads to the pub, specifically the Hole in the Wall. It's a massive night out for students. We were planning on waiting in the unruly queue for the Hole in the Wall, until some young guys shouted some obscene racist bullshit at 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗲. Max, our other friend with us, and I jointly decided to leave for another place with 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗲. You're white boys, it's fine, you can stay here, it looks fun, so it would be stupid for you two to leave. 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗲 went on like this for a bit, truly hoping we'd stay. Dude, there's no point in leaving our friend to drink with racist pricks like that. Let's head to the 𝗬𝗓𝗏. After this first encounter, I think our friendship actually grew stronger. He didn't expect us to be so passionate about sticking with him. It was simple though, really. We didn't do anything brave or of significance, we just did what was right. Now, the sad part of this story is that much later in the year, I did something that was definitely not right regarding 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗲𝗏. Regrettably, I hurt him immensely with my poor choices, and we're no longer friends like we once were. Ironically, All You Need Is Love by the Beatles is playing in the background at the cafe I'm currently writing in. Hey everyone, I'm Cullan, and just hold on one second, don't go anywhere. I just want to say thank you for listening to episode number 10 and part 1 of my upcoming book, Attempting Local. As you know, an episode won't be released again for some time, later in July. Episode 11 should release on July 24th, but I'll update you if that changes. You can get more information on Instagram and Facebook at Attempting Local Podcast. And lastly, I just wanted to say that all of this podcast and this writing and my adventure abroad, it took a lot of time and it took a lot of effort and a lot of work and passion. So if you're equally as passionate about this and you're really appreciating the information or just loving the stories or just like the distraction and something to listen to that's a bit different and travel oriented, then I would definitely appreciate it if you supported the podcast. I'm only one guy, I'm doing this on my own and I'm trying to bust out an episode every week. while still working a full-time job, and it can take a lot of time, and it does take a lot of resources and money to get new people to listen to the show and to buy equipment and keep that equipment running. So if you support it, it really does go a long way. All you have to do to support the podcast is head to either anchor.fm/Cullan-McNamara or visit patreon.com/CullanMac. Again, this is the last episode for a little while, and I'm going to keep working on this while I'm away, and I just wanted to say thank you. Share this with your friends and family members and anybody else you know that may be interested in Ireland or possibly even studying there or moving there. One last time, thank you, and I look forward to releasing episode 11 of Attempting Local later in July.